On June 20th, 1987, after 10 years of intense research, the Turkish government announced to the world the discovery of Noah's Ark and the dedication of it and the surrounding area as a national park. In 1977, Ron Wyatt made his first trip to this area. It was during this first trip that Ron found numerous huge drogue-style anchor stones, all the same approximate size as the one here. These were all in a direct alignment with the boat-shaped object, evidencing their being cut loose or dropped as the Ark entered the area of its final rest. These bear ancient iconographic inscriptions of the 8 survivors of the flood. In December of 1978, an earthquake in this highly remote area dropped the soil from around the formation, allowing Ron to see for the first time the rib timbers and deck support timbers visibly exposed on the sides. A large crack was also formed along the entire length of the object, and he was able to measure the depth and take samples for analysis. The analyses showed a very high organic carbon content consistent with ancient wood. Later metal detection surveys and subsurface interface radar showed an incredible man-made structure encapsulated within the formation. Keels and keelsomes, bulkheads, decks, and even partitions between the cages became visible through these scientific devices.
Do you believe Noah's Ark actually existed? Could the legend that sounds like a fairy tale really become proven fact? Well, the search has been going on since biblical times. And in a moment, you're going to meet some people who are positive they have found the Ark. Now, we know such claims have been made before, but a few months ago, these people came to 2020 with some new and intriguing scientific findings. We followed them to the mountains of eastern Turkey, and what you'll see is a bizarre adventure with a host of unlikely characters. Tom Gerald's story takes many twists and turns.
Consider, if the biblical story of creation is fact and not fable, then the theory of evolution is all wet. A confirmed discovery will be the greatest archaeological find of all times and provide for religious fundamentalists hard evidence of the Bible's absolute reliability. Thus, Noah's Ark has become the most controversial artifact ever recorded by man.
That's the seductive beauty that brings them here, snow-capped Mount Ararat. The explorers looked for the Ark there since that's the highest point around here. And as the flood waters receded, presumably that's where it would have landed. But the Bible describes the mountains of Ararat, mountains plural. Is it possible that the Ark came to rest on one of the smaller sister mountains to Ararat?
Such a theory is abhorrent to the old-time fundamentalists, the true believers who are unbending in their faith, that the Bible was referring only to Ararat as the Ark site.
Have you ever seen anything like this? Look at the grain in this thing. It almost looks like wood.
But now there are fundamentalists who are contradicting that claim. They are the new believers. Ron Wyatt and Dave Fassel believe they have found the Ark on a slope of what the local people call Doomsday Mountain, some 15 miles south of Mount Ararat. Their Ark fever is fueled by expeditions on foot, deep into the surrounding valleys. Here, following a local Kurdish villager who drew maps on his palms, Wyatt and Fassel have made what they consider exciting and important discoveries. Apparently old Armenian tombstones that commemorate the survival of Noah and his family.
Same kind of strange stone. When the early Christians found these things, they carved 8 crosses on it for the 8 survivors. This whole valley was known as the region of 8.
Ron, what's the significance of the placement of the crosses in these stones?
All right, Tom, this is an iconographic representation here of a man, the head of the household, his wife, his 3 sons, and his 3 daughters or daughters-in-law. And as you can see here, the 8 crosses, the ones to his left are the lady folks in the family. The ones to his right are the men folks in the family.
Do these fit the story of Noah?
They do.
To Wyatt and Fassel, these stones appear to be in direct alignment to the boat-shaped site on Doomsday Mountain. The boat-shaped site was first found and photographed by a Turkish army captain back in 1959. It was quickly explored and dismissed as a freak of nature. But Wyatt, an amateur archaeologist, rekindled interest in it a few years ago. He brought in Dave Fassel, a marine salvage expert, to assess it. The Doomsday Mountain team brought in some high technology to explore the oldest legend of man. They began scanning their site with a molecular frequency generator. It's a device used by surgeons to pinpoint cancer tumors, and it's been used by Fassel to locate underwater treasure. This time, the molecular frequency generator began to pick up a unique pattern of iron lines beneath the earth.
Okay, bring that one up.
They began placing ribbons along those lines. The finished shape, outlined by the ribbons, was that of a huge ship, the approximate length and width of Noah's Ark, as described in the Bible. The fascinating field of ribbons soon attracted higher academic interest.
That looks like iron. Okay.
Dr. John Baumgartner, a physicist with Los Alamos Laboratories, sent samples back to the lab for analysis and confirmed that the metal they were tracing with the ribbons was indeed iron.